Maybe you've felt like you've been stuck in a loop, repeating the same thoughts, the same patterns, or maybe even the same outcomes. And perhaps you've wondered, can I really change the way I think? And more importantly, can I do it quickly? Well, the answer is yes. And science says that you don't need decades of therapy or a life overhaul in order to do so. In fact, you can start rewiring your brain in under 2 minutes. At Life Puzzle, we often say, change your focus, change your life. And that's not just motivational fluff. It's actually neuroscience and NLP at work. Here's why it matters to you perhaps today. The moment you shift your attention from problems to solutions, you activate your brain's Reticular Activating System. This is kind of like an internal GPS for focus. Suddenly, you start spotting opportunities, and instead of obstacles, you see opportunities. Let's say you're having one of those days. You know, we've all had them. You're behind on deadlines, someone cuts you off in traffic, and maybe the coffee machine breaks. My worst nightmare. Your brain starts spiraling into everything's going wrong. But what if instead of the following old script, you did one simple thing? Maybe you yelled out some kind of word that made you laugh. Banana. Yes, really, banana. That playful moment breaks the pattern. You've just used a tool called a pattern interrupt, a core technique in neurolinguistic programming that instantly redirects your focus and resets your mindset. So here's the science. Every time you interrupt a negative thought loop and refocus on something that might have a more positive intention, you're reinforcing the creation of new neural pathways. Without getting too technical, that's neuroplasticity in action. And it works because your brain believes whatever story you keep telling it on repeat. So here's a 2-minute transformation exercise for you. The next time you catch yourself stuck in a negative loop, pause and say, banana. Or if you don't want to be that silly, you can say, what if the opposite was true? So actually think of what is the opposite of this really bad day or this really negative loop, and what if you could imagine if it was true? And then ask yourself, what's one empowering thought or action that I can focus on right now that will make me closer to that point of the opposite being true? And if you do that regularly enough, then you're not just thinking differently, you're actually building a brain wired for confidence, for clarity and success. Because success, it really does just start with a thought, and most importantly, your conviction in a decision to rewire it. I hope that you found this useful, and until we meet again, it's Shondell from Life Puzzle. Be well and be empowered. Bye for now, team.